Alright guys, today's the day. I'm moving the babies in our new rat.
Yeah!
So if you watched the build video, you saw I got this 2-channel eBird Pro temperature controller. But before I could just throw the babies in their new bins, I had to make sure that it was regulating right. So I placed this Govee thermostat and hygrometer in each one of these bins. I let it sit in each bin for about an hour to acclimate to its temperature and to make sure that my heat controller was heating the heat cable to the appropriate temperature for the hog nose. Because I don't want them to overheat and I don't want them to get too cold. But before I put the thermostat in each one of the bins, I first filled them up with substrate so it wasn't sitting on the bottom and it would get a better accurate temperature. And now that that's complete, I got these food trays. I already cut a hole in them so they can use them as a hide. Because they outgrew their hides too. Okay, we're going to start with Candy the corn snake, who trashed her water bowl last night. And you're probably wondering, why would I take her out of this bin and just put her in another one? Well, it's because all these nice bins that I got from Walmart, you know, the wood with latches so they can't get out? Well, if you look, it's got a rounded contour right here. So you can't really use that in a rat because, well, if you can slide it in, they'd be able to get out right here. Normally I grab her up with a hook because she was really bitey as a baby. And I'm not afraid of getting bit by a corn snake. But it's all about changing habits. Every time that I pull her out of here and she doesn't bite me, just means the next time that I pull her out of here, she's less likely to do it. It's all about training her. Come here, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down, pretty girl. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You're gonna get a new house. And it's gonna be about the same size. But it's gonna be warmer and it's gonna be in a better spot. And I won't have to deal with a lid. So when you got a defensive snake like this, and you first pick them up, and they're all nervous, little tails rattling, striking everywhere, it might be your instinct to go ahead and lay them down because they're upset. But that's exactly what you don't want to do. With these guys, it's all about training and it's all about positive experience. And they remember that moment that you let them go. That very moment, that's a crucial moment. So when they're acting all crazy, what you gotta do is you gotta hold them through it. Just hold them for another minute or so. Their whole mind state will change and they'll go into relax mode. And you really don't want to take a defensive snake that you're trying to train and lay them back down in their enclosure when they're in defensive mode. You want to handle them, get them to this calm mode. See, she's relaxed now. Her little tail's not vibrating. She's just out exploring. Because she knows now that I'm not a monster that just grabbed her out of her bed. She knows I'm her daddy. Okay, maybe not. But she knows I'm that man that gives her rats. Now that she's calm, I'll introduce her to her new home. Hey, where you going, Ma? Alright, you can go on the bottom. I'm going to give you one new house. And I'll give you your old house. So that you can have the familiar smells. Here's your old house on your cold side. Now you got choices. You can live in either house. Now this is her therm hygrometer. And I'm going to come back through later and tape it to the wall of this bin. But for right now, I'm just going to set it in there. Now when I go to tape it in, I'll show you. Because it's some really specific tape that I use for this stuff. Because a lot of tape, it'll just fall right off. Alright, here's your new house, baby. Well, that's not your house. That's Miss Wiggles. Your house is going to be down here. How you like that, baby girl? You got a new clean house. You don't want to let go? Alright. So she went right into her old house. Not the new house. Funny how that works, huh? And that's why I put the old one in there. Alright, next up is my girl, Miss Wiggles. It was time for a house cleaning anyway. I had this extra piece of grass from Scarlett's original ball python enclosure. So I guess Miss Wiggles should have that one. Who knows, I might put it in with the quarter snake later. A new hide on the hot side. They give you your old hide on the cold side. I'm going to clean all your flowers up and your water bowl up. The water bowl is not that bad actually. It's just got a couple plates of wood in it. I just cleaned all these bowls yesterday or the day before. Of course, they trashed hers already. Alright, Wiggles, you ready to go see your new house? Come on, Wiggles. Miss Wiggles is growing up so fast. She's getting to be a big old girl, aren't you, Wiggles? Alright, Miss Wiggles. You can go in here and I'm going to pull you out in a couple days and you're going to be 100 grams heavier. You're going to grow like a weed in here, Miss Wiggles. Go check out your new digs, Ma. Why don't you go over here? There's your old house, and there's your new house. Yeah, you like the new house, huh? It fits you a little better. Alright, Miss Wiggles is in. So like I said, at the end, I'm going to clean all her flowers, put them back in there. And I do have a couple more new flowers that I'm going to cut. And I'm going to put Miss Candy's cage and the next girls. So let's move on to the next ones. Next up is my girl Flurry. And you're about to see why she's named Flurry. Because as soon as the lid comes over, she wants to dart out the top. Yeah. So I've been debating on the placement of these babies. So this is Miss Flurry. She's a 2022 hatchling. But she's a great eater and she's grown up pretty fast. And she's been in one of these 6-quart bins. Which is still a decent size for her. However, the females do get bigger than males, which is why I have the bigger bins on this side. And ideally, I'd like to keep all my females on this side and all the males on that side over there. The problem is, 2 of my females are still pretty little, but these bins are still kind of big for a hog nose this size. Thing is some of them, they don't care. They're still going to eat. Some of them, if you put them in an enclosure that's too big, they're going to get nervous, especially if they don't have enough to hide under, and then they might go off food. Well, the smaller female over there, that's a year old and smaller than this one, she's practically been off food since I got her. I've gotten her eat probably 6 or 7 times, and I've had her for, 6 months, 8 months, I don't know. She hadn't eaten a whole lot. So, will she stay off food in there? Will it make her worse? She don't want to come back on? I'd get her to eat a toad any day of the week if I wanted to give her that. So ultimately, one of these chicks is going to have to come over here. Because I took one bin out of that 4-bin rack over there. And I got 3 snakes to put up somewhere. So like I wanted to do, if I take the other female out of that rack, I got my 2 new boys to put up. Then I'd have 4 boys in that rack. And that would be perfect. Only problem is the 2 smaller females being in these racks. But I'm going to give it a try. And if she goes off food, or the other one continues not to eat, I may downsize them. I may just downsize them in a smaller one, see if I can fit it inside of there, just to get her to eat. I'd like to have the females and males separated just because they're getting older. Mr. Puffy's already in breeding range, so he can decide at any moment that he's just going to go off food because he wants a female to sit below him. So if I can separate them a little bit, even though it's a tiny house, it might help out a little bit. Anyway, let's move her on over. I have a feeling that it's not going to affect her eating at all, because she's an eater. Alright. We're going to put you right here. Take your old hide, put it right here. Here's the bigger one. Oh, that's nice. Kind of. Should have shaved the feet off a little bit. Yep, I'll probably come back soon with some scissors and shave that feet off. That there. Alright, one more female to go. And up next, we have Balloon Girl. What's up, chick? You ready to check out your new house? I'll get out. So she had a slightly different size hide in her enclosure. She had this size as compared to that size. So I'm going to give her this one back, which is her old one. And instead of giving her one of these big ones right here, I'm going to give her the smaller 3D printed one that I got from Best Friends Exotic. And bad eaters that are insecure, they like to be in tight, small places. And this is a smaller hide, so maybe it'll help her out. There she is. Man, girl. You just gotta turn into a good eater for me. Because you can make some beautiful babies. But only if you grow up and be strong. Because if not, you're just gonna be a mouse consumer. Water bowl. She got one of these tiny Wi-Fi therms. Which I'm gonna have to break off. Alright, girl. If I let you go, you can't run out of that bin. Go in that tiny house. Get in your tiny house, chick. You better not try to escape. Alright. So for now, I'm just gonna set this in there. Get all the other ones in their houses. And then I'll come back with that tape. Tape them all back down. Alright. Doubt there's any sticking left on that, but leave that there. Alright, girl. Give you some flowers and stuff later, chick. Okay, so that's all the females. Now we get the new male set up and the old rat. So this one will be one of them. However, I'm going to have to clean them out first because I don't want to cross-contaminate. So I got to go get some aspen, some wood chips, chlorhexidine. I'll be back. Okay, so it's time to move these guys into the new bins. So I cleaned them out real good with this chlorhexidine. Put some new wood chips in them. And they're ready to go. Alright. Let's see who's first up. I hear him already. Sound like Mr. Toxic. Go ahead and get his house over. Get him a small house right here. Really need to get a bigger house too, but the big ones I got are too big for this. Alright, get your water bowl over, which I need to clean out. But all you do is have some aspen in it. Alright. And now for the dude with the tube number 2. The triple het atoxic. And I haven't named him yet. I gotta come up with some kind of name. Probably have something to do with his attitude. But it's time for you to go in your house so I can get your cellmate over there with you. Yeah. Show me that tube, boy. Alright, go in there. What's that, buddy? Alright, Mr. Atox, going in his house. And I'll come back in a little bit and I'll give you some decorations and stuff to hide in. Alright, we're going to move on to Mr. Emoji. Go ahead and get his house over there. Put his water bowl over there. Mr. Emoji. You really hiding, homie. You scared me. Mr. Emoji. I got you a new house and I hope you're not too scared because it's a big old house for a little baby boy. But I think you might be able to deal with it. If not, I'll move you back into a tiny house and put you on a heat pad and get another temperature controller just for you. But I think you can handle it. And there's your house. You want to go in it? Good boy. So when I was putting the last bell in, I think it was Mr. Emoji, my camera died. So I let it charge for a couple hours, gave the baby some time to relax in their new house. Then I came back and gave everybody water, cluttered up their cage a little bit with some decorations. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of what it all looks like, and then I'm going to let them settle in for a couple more hours, and I might come back and try to feed them tonight, or maybe I'll feed them in a couple days. Typically when you put a snake in a new enclosure, you want to give them time to adjust before you try to feed them. But then I think about all my eaters and the really good eaters that went in a new enclosure. So maybe if I go ahead and throw food at them, and they eat in their new enclosure, maybe it'll immediately feel like home to them. So, I don't know. It's a psychological game when you're dealing with reptiles. It's a balancing act. One thing that can make it for one animal can break it for another. So it's a whole lot of experimentation. But I like to experiment, so it's not a big deal to me. Anyway, I'm going to show you their enclosures real quick, and then I'm going to let them chill. First up, Mr. Moji. Pretty simple. Couple flowers and a toilet paper roll. Next up, the triple het toxic. The dude with a tune. Okay, after showing off all the girls, I realized the camera wasn't recording. So now I get to stress them out a little bit more and do it one more time. Let's try this again. We got Candy, the corn snake. So I didn't give her too much clutter because she runs, trash in her cage, she's all over the place. Speaking of which, I gotta find her water bowl. She's not much of a hider. She likes to hang out in the open half the time, so I just put this in for now. When I go to the dollar store and get some bigger flowers, I might put some bigger petals in there. This is just some flowers I had left over from the Tarantula enclosure build. And next up, it's my girl Wiggles. She's like, will you stop messing with me already? So this is Miss Wiggles' cage, the queen of the house. Well, I better not let Scarlett hear that. So I decided not to clean her flowers when I put them in here because she's in a new house. It can be a little stressful moving. And I want her to keep as many familiar smells as she can around her right now. So they weren't too dirty. So I just decided to leave them in there. This one right here, she's had since she was a baby. She likes to rub up on that when she's shedding. I give them toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls so they have something they can run and hide up in. Just another form of enrichment. Alright, we're going to put her back real quick. Splash the water a little bit. And next up, we got Miss Flurry. Again, not too much decorations, but that's the toilet paper roll she's had for a couple months now. And a couple flowers for enrichment. Again, I'll probably add some bigger petals when I get some at the dollar store. Last up, it is Miss Bonnet, Balloon Girl, the Bad Eater. I like her cage. The colors match her. It looks kind of cute. This is a nice thick flower right here, so I don't really think she needs much else. Again, that was a couple more flowers left over from the Tarantula enclosure build. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll link it in the description. You should watch it. It's a pretty epic build. So here's her thermometer hygrometer. For some reason, I can't find my roll of VHB tape. I don't know where it is, but I've moved stuff around. I got stuff everywhere. Eventually, I'll find it. But I did find one small square of it, so I cut it up in a couple pieces, put it on the back of a couple of these therms that need it. Still need a couple more. But anyway, this is VHB tape. It comes with this red film made by 3M. But something about that VHB tape, it sticks. It sticks in high humidity, it sticks in everything. The problem is peeling that red film off the back is a pain. So the trick is to do what I did, not just to make the video easier, but I stuck it on the back of them probably about 30 minutes ago. So you take the white side off first, which is easy, it peels right off. So you take that off, you stick it on your, whatever you want to stick it on. That sounded funny. And you let it sit for about 30 minutes. Then when you pull the red film off, you won't be pulling it off or whatever you got it stuck to. I'm going to stick this right here on the hot side. I keep them on the hot side because I know the cool side is lower. I just want to know how hot the hot side's getting. Alright, golly, you already about dumped your water. And I just put it in there. I'll give you more in a little bit. Alright, Say bye, balloon. And like clockwork, when the sun goes down, Scarlet comes up, and she wants to get out. Well, that's it for this video. I'm glad to get my babies in their new home, and I don't have to deal with heat mats anymore. That's always a pain. Especially when you got a temperature controller, and you got to try to tape a probe to the mat. And then you're moving the bins around, and the probe keeps wanting to come off, and the alarm keeps going off. That's pretty annoying. But, no more heat mats. Now we're dealing with cables. And it's nice. Everything's running off of one thermostat. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't done so, subscribe. I'm still trying to get to 1,000. I'm getting closer. I can smell it. Till next time, y'all have a good one. Hello?
Hey, you getting the message?
No, I'm recording right now.
Okay, well, I'm trying to turn in your jewelry when you pay for it.
Well, I'm out here enjoying this nice weather, finishing up this edit. I figured I'd give you an update real quick. Miss Bonnet, a.k.a. Balloon Girl, you know, the bad eater. Well, I moved her into that bigger house. I don't know what happened, but she decided to eat.